This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. It's time to get geeky and get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on Twitter in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Ready to get geeky with you, and we got a hell of a crew with us. First of all, coming from Studio C in the Big D of Dormont, PA, right up the tracks is John Chichilla.
How's it going?
Hello.
Right up the tracks. I haven't been on the tracks in a while.
No, he is, of course, the gadget guru at Big Bank International, Esquire, and the boss of bosses. I understand.
In the what?
The boss of bosses.
The boss of bosses.
The boss of bosses.
That's what they want to call me.
And
look at that. The video camera. My cameraman is back in.
Yeah, you're just like swaying back and forth with the camera going with you. Oh, I think you're crashing my Zoom though. So it's a lot. Listen, I got a lowly like Gen 1 i7 down here, so don't push it too hard, okay? So
I won't push all the Ks.
No. And also with us, she is. I keep calling you a social media guru, but you're just kind of like a multimedia guru at this point, aren't you? Right? Katie Dutters is with us.
Multimedia Empress.
Yeah. Ooh, multimedia Empress. Let me update my notes I don't take. How you doing, Katie?
For my empire.
Yeah.
Good. I'm doing well.
There you go.
I got a new mug recently. It's Powell's City of Books, and it's cats and books.
Oh, where is Powell's? Is Powell's a real place?
I don't know. I need to find that out.
You're just like, I found the mug.
Little friend.
You found the mug, but not the location?
Nope. Was too excited. Saw cats and books, and I was like, I'm in.
Since we're on that, I am supporting a friend of the show, Professor Buzzkill, the great podcast, with my mugginess. So keeping things well fueled over here. Also with us, he's another gadget guru over there. Ron Krause is with us.
What's up, everybody? How are you? And I'm supporting Lucasfilm.
I don't think they need the help.
Can we talk about ILM?
Oh, what? Did you watch the documentary?
Yeah, it's all the shows. Yeah.
Oh, I want to.
All the shows.
Yes. Yeah, that's on my watch list for sure. The Light and Magic, right? Is that the show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Industrial Light and Light and Magic. It's great. There's like what, 6 episodes, I think.
Oh, nice. I can't wait.
Stuff.
I need to look at it. I don't know. I've been wanting to sit down with the Lego summer special, summer vacation special. So,
watch that too.
Yes. I'm sure I think She-Hulk premieres tomorrow, right? So I'll probably sneak in some extra Disney Plus with it. So anyways, this is the AwesomeCast. We're going to talk about some geeky things, of course, gadgets and social media and video games and who knows what. But of course, please go check out everything at awesomecast.com. Also, hey, I want to give a big thank you to Yajagoff. They had me on Q992 is the station, right? And they had me on to talk about the AwesomeCast, so we got a little bit of plug. And so thank you to them for letting us talk about podcasting on the radio, which was an interesting thing. So that aired Friday night. Did the interview from the parking lot while I was setting up for an MMA pay-per-view up at the Poconos. So that was fun, finding enough service to do that. So, fun with technology as usual. But anyways, thank you for joining us if it is your first time from hearing from us the other night. And also, you can follow us again, AwesomeCast, on all the social medias, including Twitter and Facebook. And, of course, we are live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on the AwesomeCast Facebook page, as well as the YouTube, the Twitter. We've actually been playing a little bit with Twitter Spaces. I know it's a little staticky, but we're working on it and hoping we can do some call-ins here eventually with that. We're getting closer. I just need to figure out where the static is coming from, which I don't understand because everything's brand new. But anyways, and if anyone has any ideas for better connections, both way connections into a soundboard from an iPhone. Other than this iRig 2 that I have, I'm open for suggestions, by the way, so I can get that sorted out. And of course, subscribe to the podcast, and thank to our friends over at postindustrial.com for sharing the show with their audience as well. Also, thank you to our Patreon supporters that have been supporting the show for a good while. Our friends at patreon.com/awesomecast, our friends at the executive producer letter, Brian Crawford of phhmuseums.org. Our friends at the Coffee Club level, Matt Weller, John Carmen, Cynthia Klosky, Scott McTaggart, and Mike Pound. At the fan of the show level, Michael Fedor, Professor Buzzkill, just like on the mug, and Dave Potter. Again, you guys can support the show. You'll get updates about the show and some behind the scenes and extra content every once in a while when we record that over there at patreon.com/awesomecast if you sign up. So let's get into our awesome things of the week, and I'm going to get mine out of the way. Listen, I'm at this point. I think this is a business owner's thing. I don't get terribly excited when I buy new things because I need the new things anymore, and especially the 2018 MacBook Pro was working fine, downloading assets in the hotel room Friday night. Went to the scene, hooked it up so I could grab the rest of them, and it would not start. On top of the internet issues is really frustrating. So I took them into the Mac doctor yesterday. It was about a $650 fix, and at that point I was like, well, why don't, like, your MacBook Airs start at $1,000, right? So we ended up with had to go over from South Hills over to Squirrel Hills, and they held for me a nice 14-inch MacBook Pro. Katie, I think this is comparable to what you have as well. I think you probably have the bigger edition, right? And I love that so you don't forget what it is. It's on the back of it. My ports are back. This is exciting. This is actually a bigger upgrade than just the chip, right? Like, I don't need to use my dongle anymore when I edit the show at home, for one thing, and the HDMI, so I'm not stuck without an adapter when I go to the hotel rooms and everything like that. And I still got like 3 other ports and MagSafe and all this stuff. And oh, good, there's a headphone jack. I didn't even notice that yet. It's I have to get the 16 gigabytes of RAM, and I just basically look at nothing else. So, which I believe this is an M1 Pro. So technically, this is a beefier machine than the Mac Mini I've been running on my desk since December. Accidentally got a better computer. So that is my runner. I got a case sitting on my private porch at home right now. So please don't go home and steal it. So I can properly protect this thing. It feels nice. So the keyboard, Katie, I don't know if you noticed this. I think your last laptop was from the same era mine was, more or less. Like that keyboard. Oh, I lived with the keyboard, okay? And I was like, okay, this is fine. And I went to this keyboard and realized, oh my God, what have we been doing for the last several years on these things? Still has the Touch ID. Missy's like, but it won't have that touch bar you like. I'm like, Missy, I don't love the touch bar. Nothing has the touch bar. The touch bar was a novel concept, and that's fine. So I just need a laptop that works. So that was it. But I mean, Katie, you kind of had the same kind of like upgrade recently as well. I think relatively the same eras of laptops, right?
Yeah, we're on the same laptop cycle at this point.
Yeah, we are. What are we joking about, mashing cycles or something on trips, and now we've done it on Macs. Yes.
We synchronized our laptop cycles.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, it's you will notice that it's so much. I found myself just like thanking my laptop so often, just because like even it's such a nice night and day, and even that first time you start it up and the speakers go boom.
Yeah.
Because our last laptop didn't have that. It was just like, whoa, good morning. Hello, speakers.
Well, I think something happens. I know this is on phones. It's like, I got a new phone. It's so much louder. But it's just like, yeah, but your speaker's been worn and full of dirt for the last how many years, right? Like, I think it's a little bit of that. I even like Missy looked at the bottom of my phone is like, hey, when you visit my mother-in-law out east, like, make sure she cleans out my speakers, because she saw how bad it was getting when we were sitting there at the store the other day. Which I'll have an opportunity soon. Thankfully. Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, again, it's just one of those like I just transplant my life over to it. I've got most everything on there. I still need to rebuild the assets for this show because that's one thing that didn't get. That's the one folder that didn't get backed up. Was my like my kind of templating for everything, but I might have some of it on my other computer. I have to check. Again, I'm always amazed about how easy it is to get these things kind of up and running too. Log into the App Store. I have a handful of other things that need, your Dropbox, your Drive. I am unhappy with how quickly you turn on iCloud and it just fills your drive. Like, that is excessive, and it doesn't seem to be a lever to be able to check that. And I've had problems with the Mac Mini. I've had problems with the other MacBook Pro where it's just like, oh, you're out of space. I'm like, why am I out of space? And then like 10 minutes later, you have 50 gigs. And we're like, what the hell are we doing? And there's no transparency that I'm aware of. And that is just and it doesn't matter. I have it's a terabyte on the other computer. This has a half terabyte, and I'm having and no matter what, I still have like 5 to 20 gigabytes free on them. And I know that's the iCloud situation. So I don't know what that is to offload that. It rendered a 2013 MacBook unusable, and we had to turn off eventually. So that's the only thing with that. Maybe I just need to shuck everything out of there and throw it in Dropbox or something. But that's also
OneDrive will fix your woes in that realm.
OneDrive.
So Microsoft's OneDrive has a bunch of settings, and Krause is probably grinning over there as the Microsoft guy. There's a bunch of settings on the endpoint that you can set to do things like only stream down the the thumbnail view and just enough to show what type of file it is.
Yeah.
And then it will actually stream down the file as you double click on it. Obviously, you need internet connectivity to make that work. So if you're constantly without connection, beware on that one. But you can right click it. You can right click a directory and say sync now. It'll automatically clean up itself. You can set it to only use X amount of space. Always make sure X percent of space is free on a drive.
Right.
A lot of customization.
I like
because
that.
Microsoft ran into that problem back in the old Windows 8 and Surface Pro days, like first Surface Pro, second Surface Pro, giving everyone a terabyte drive, but their device maxed out at like 256 or 512 gig. So they quickly kind of righted that ship. And I'll be honest with you, I use both, but I use them in different ways.
Again, I think I started throwing a little bit of stuff at iCloud a little bit ago, and then kind of forgot about it. So I need to kind of realign what that is. I look at it as everything is on my computer and that's backed up to iCloud, versus it's a giant storage pool like we do from Dropbox and Google Drive. And Google Drive and Dropbox are pretty good about like, no, throw everything online. Okay, let's pull down this. I pull down an assets folder that has everything that I deal with on like a daily basis, like, podcasts, wrestling shows, the intros, outros, and logos and things like that, and music and deals, right? So those work with that. But then I also have the iCloud, and just like, what is this stuff? The answer is it's probably very random stuff that I've forgotten about. I also have nearly full Google Drive and Dropbox at 2 terabytes each that I really need to clean up. So that's another issue that I've been having. And I've been trying to do good about bringing those down if I have enough hard drive space at the moment, and then pulling those over to the Drobo, which then gets backed up to Backblaze. So it's like, this whole cycle situation. But those are the issues I'm running into. Or I'll accidentally say, I want to download this folder and it's too much, and it causes a placeholder in Dropbox that fills the rest of my drive and crashes everything. So, but that's, again, we're talking media, and that's a lot of big files, like on a regular basis. Like literally I did a show this weekend, and the master switch file, not including the cameras that I have to offload, is something about 300 gigabytes recorded. So at ProRes LT, I believe, is what the format that we're using for that. I have a drive for that, but it needs to go somewhere in the meantime. So that's the idea of the kind of shows, or the wrestling shows. The master renders end up about 30 gigabytes, and then that's 3 cameras each that are, I don't know, they probably end up about 80 to 150 gigabyte projects, of assets before we process out that main thing. And when that's H.264, we're doing 30 gigabytes. If we did like full on ProRes for those things, it'd be massive. Again, another 300 gigabytes probably for just the master file. So anyways, so that's my awesome thing. He says with a groan, because I really didn't want to do this upgrade for like at least another 6 months. Again, just a lot of other things I would have loved to have upgraded for, basically projects coming up, than things like this. So, but hey, that's the way it is. Like I said, we got to keep this media train rolling, and that is unfortunately a vital asset of what's going on here. So, you got to move when you got to move, and thankfully, we were able to at the time. So, and I know this thing's going to last me for another 4 or 5 years. So,
What was the actual problem with the old one?
it wouldn't power on. Apparently, the logic board is about a $650 fix, and because they didn't label accidental, there's no water damage or anything like that. So I think it just went, wear and tear. This thing's in my backpack, so it's getting, it's getting knocked around. It's going to be. It's just going to be, right? But this time I am getting a good like plastic protector like wraparound thing at least, things like that. We got the Apple Care thing. They showed us about how we can like extend the Apple Care beyond the 3 years now, kind of, sort of. I don't know. It's really confusing. They said, the monthly actually does only last the 3 years, but they haven't told anybody yet. So I was like, wait, so like I could have just saved money and bought the 3 years instead of thinking I'm going to extend to 4 years on this thing, or I guess 2 years, because the phone I'm doing monthly on Apple Care right now. And sounds like I probably should have just upfront paid it, because it's not going to matter when I get to 2 years on this thing. So I guess they cut it off or something. But so that's distressing. So, but anyways, well, let's move on to somebody else's awesome thing of the week. Dutters, what's your awesome thing here? I see a cursor blinking by.
I just found this. I was super excited about this. On Super Punch-Out, like 1994 Super Nintendo Super Punch-Out has a hidden 2-player mode.
What?
Didn't know. Yep. Apparently in the original Super Nintendo game and the Switch, where you can get Super Nintendo games, you can put in a cheat code and you will be able to box 2 players and fight select screen. So like a Twitter user figured it out on unlisted cheats. Found a new cheat. Essentially, when you're in the thing, as long as you have 2 controllers hooked up to your Switch, because it's probably you're most likely to have a Switch versus like your Super Nintendo just chilling. At the title screen, just hold Y and R then press A or start, and then it'll give you Little Dude versus any of these guys. So you can pick any of the guys, the big boxing fellas, and you can activate it, and then you get to box your friend.
Does it go split screen, or how does the second player work?
I don't know. I haven't tried it
yet.
Well,
the format is like the single player is in the foreground, and the other person on the other side. So I think it's just you're playing that enemy on the other side of the screen. So like, because that's basically the format there.
Okay.
So yeah. So that's cool. I feel like there was something like this before. Like I remember Nintendo games where there was like an unofficial second. Oh, Duck Hunt. You could pick up controllers and start controlling the ducks, right?
Yeah. So, we're finding all these secret things.
Yes. So that's how you work it in. That's awesome. So Punch Out. That's weird. That's crazy. I love it. Awesome. Chilla, what's your awesome thing?
My awesome thing is the Logitech dock.
Yes, my brother also shared this.
Oh, did he get one, or he
no?
It?
He does have a Steam Deck, but he was sharing that this was a thing that was coming up too.
Oh, cool. So the Logitech dock is kind of an all-in-one device that acts as a dock for your computer.
Oh wait, never mind. This is a different Logitech thing. We got something down the way.
Sorry. So this is like a hub for your home.
Oh, okay.
But it's also a speakerphone. It's a nice set of speakers. It has a 6 beam-forming microphones on the top, and it cleans up all your wires. Like in the video
What
you're
the
showing.
hell is this creepy wire animation that's going on here? What's
So the
happening?
interesting thing, and this was like one of the drivers for actually moving off my old dock to this dock was the audio quality. There was no speakers on my old dock, and I actually had like a small little stereo with little speakers hooked up on my desk. Now it's all in one device. The other thing from this device's perspective is it will actually charge a laptop up to 100 watts. So scroll down on the image there. There's a section called after you add the music to your workday. There's a connect everything.
Oh, I'm having
The
fun.
back of the
I'm having fun with the slider image going on over here. The cords go
Cleaning up
on,
the
cords
wires.
go off. Cords go on, cords go off.
I did the exact same thing. Like 500 times.
Yeah, right. What am I looking for? What was that
a
section?
little bit further down, there's
Oh,
the
here
add
it is.
music to your workday.
Gotcha.
They review like the speakers that are embedded in it and the beamforming mics. And then one more section down to connect everything. This is how the magic
Whew.
of the wire cleanup goes.
Holy crap.
There's actually 2 USB-C ports on the back, 2 USB-A ports on the back, a display port, and an HDMI. They can be both used at the same time if you have dual monitors, as well as you'd have your monitor of your laptop. There's a USB-C, what's called upstream, which is the USB-C you plug into your laptop. It will charge a laptop, like I said, up to 100 watts of power. A lot of devices, most of the devices will only do 65. And this will do 100. There's the Kensington lock in case you want to lock it to your desk, and the power connector. There's also a nifty little USB-C port on the front on the side. So if you kind of want to be able to plug in any extra cable that you have, it will charge. It will, whatever you want to plug in there. Works just perfectly. You can also pair it via Bluetooth, so you can stream audio to it. I am super impressed with the device. The reason I asked when you said your brother, I thought your brother might have one. They are on sale. They do cost $399, but they are in limited supply as they keep getting snapped up by the public. So if this is something that interests you, you may have to wait a little while. But to me, well worth it. There is a client that you can get for it. It does have upgradable firmware, volume up, volume down right on the device, mute. There's actually a camera on-off button, which I thought was pretty nice. All in all, like I said, if you are constantly in front of your PC in a home office, I personally think this device is definitely worth the $400. In fact, I mean, I have it outputting to a 4K monitor too, so completely versatile. Not something I would want to travel with. It's not like a travel hub.
No, desktop
or travel dock, but this is a very nice piece of home office equipment.
It is on Amazon, so if you want to take a shot at that there. Climate pledge friendly, it says.
Oh, and it comes in off-white and graphite.
Jeez.
I have the graphite version.
I was like, they asked me what color I want. I'm like, I don't know, the space gray, I guess. And they're like, well, we also have silver. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. It's a MacBook. I just so awesome. The Logi Dock. I'm sorry. $399. No, that seems like a pretty cool addition to your desktop if you want to clean that up.
They do because a lot of dock manufacturers are still working on their support for the M1 and M2 Mac line. This does have. I had to update the firmware, but I can put a M1 or M2 MacBook on it with no problem.
Nice.
Hey, Chilla, you said it has a camera on and off button. Does it have to be like a Logitech camera for it to use that button?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's almost like, imagine like mute and unmute, but like
but for your
camera.
camera. Okay.
Nice. Well, Krause, what is your awesome tune? I see a couple things in here. We'll have one for you, one for your
Yeah.
cat. Is that what
Well,
we're doing?
the first one I was going to do, and then I changed my mind because I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but he mentioned T3 Arena, and I have been addicted to that game since he told us about it, and I just wanted to share the love because it is actually a very good game. It's basically a arena-based shooter, 3-on-3, bunch of different little modes and stuff. Again, it's just good. It's great on my iPad. The form factor, it's. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got
Sorg's
it up
bringing
here.
it
I got it playing on my phone right here. And I played a quick game of this and hooked it up so you could see it. And this game looks gorgeous, by the way, on the phone. It looks amazing.
It's so much, and it is. It's so much fun. The controls work really well.
Yeah.
And I'm just having a ball with it, And I wanted, like I said, I just wanted to point it out and let people know, hey, this is great. It seems like a lot of fun. I haven't found any problems with it. Oh, look, Sorg's going back to camp to spawn.
I don't see anybody. I don't think I'm in a proper server right now. Oh wait, no, they're on the other side.
There's someone out there.
There we go. There's my people.
Have you gotten the archery person yet?
No, no, I have not gotten the archery person.
I will warn you, like, she does not auto fire, so her weaponry is much more powerful, but much harder because you have to manually aim.
That would probably be the one complaint I have. You can't select which characters you get. It's all based on just random rolls, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I have, let's see, how many do I have unlocked right now? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I have 13 unlocked so far. So, but the archery person is not one of them.
And I see you're going.
Yeah, but it's a great game. Oh, and then the other thing I'm doing, the other thing that was in there was I'm going on vacation next week, and chances are there will not be an internet connection for a week.
Uh-oh. I told myself
I can't wait.
Is that safe?
Yeah, seriously.
My phone will still work, but yeah, we're going to stay in a cabin at Raccoon State Park. So,
okay.
And the internet there is very spotty. So.
Mm-hmm.
I find it interesting that they have like a little marker with GPS, a GPS marker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because
it's a great place. If you've never been, there's a couple very good hikes there.
Mm-hmm.
Sorg, I noticed you've been doing some hiking.
I've been doing a couple things, yeah.
Yeah, and that's basically what we're planning on doing. Is we're gonna go and we're gonna hike and we're gonna swim and just downtime. I'm gonna take 2 whole books. I hope to read them both in a week.
Yep.
And just chill and quiet.
Well, now I got you on because I know I think I've said this to Katie, but between you and Katie and Podner, I've been absolutely inspired and got myself. I think I'm about 28 days straight of filling all my rings and doing 2 miles a day. And,
that's awesome, man!
That's the biggest change. Thank you. That's the biggest change is that like we went up to Split Rock for a job and I was like, what's the local trails? Like that's like now the thing I do is figure out like, okay, what can I do? What what's the next adventure, kind of thing. So, and I really, really, really got lost on Sunday. So ended up doing almost 4 miles as I was like, oh, maybe this way will connect. Nope. That's a river.
Are you using a trails app?
Yeah, Katie recommended All Trails, and I signed right up for it, and it's been mostly helpful. I mean, sometimes stuff happens, trails change or whatever, and but at least you have some kind of guide while you're out there.
Yeah.
So that's been.
I haven't paid for All Trails yet. I've been using the free version. The only problem I seem to have is every now and again I have difficulty finding the starting point. Like once I get there, it works great.
Yep.
But sometimes it's difficult finding the starting location.
Yeah, that's when I did Rachel Carson and ended up at just like in a football field doing laps because it didn't make
Yeah.
sense. It was like, oh, I'm way too far from the beginning for this to make sense, kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
Or
but
the time I was going to one on Moraine and I ended up in the middle of 279. They're like, "Here you go. This is where you start." And I'm like, "No, this is the middle of a highway."
Yeah.
yeah,
As I
yeah,
was driving up, I was like, "This is
yeah. But I mean, it's like, use it as a bit of a guide. I cannot imagine if doing this without a phone guidance like that. Considering the trouble that I've gotten myself in so far, I would have been like, oh my God, somebody help me. Much like the one time I went rafting back in high school when I was with my girlfriend's family, and we ended up on the river for hours because they misjudged how far it was to where we needed to get off. And it was almost dusk by the time we got out of there. Like that kind of situation is what I would find myself in more. So really, the timing kind of works out that we have this stuff to help us. But no, it's been great. It's been fantastic. And now I've been looking up what to do with GoPros on hikes. So, so I'm out here. I have these cameras. Like, let's do something with them, right? So I might be playing and poking, and it gives me stuff to work with, to play more with some footage in different ways that I don't get, because really all I film these days are Baja cars and people punching each other in the face. Like, that's like, my life right now. Not that it's horrible,
Such
but
a diverse.
I know, right? Just I just need a little bit more diversity in my life. So, hey, my brother Matt is actually in the chat room over on Twitch, and he says, I think he's talking about that dock, that Logi Dock, Chilla. He says that actually might be a good dock for, say, the Steam Deck 2 to build that thing out. So,
yeah.
So
I'm guessing anything that can plug. Well, I know it works with Mac OS. I know it works with Windows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know I don't know about Linux or anything, but it
should be pretty standard,
like any other hub. But it's going to have speakers. It's going to have all the fun peripheral connectivity.
Yeah, it'd be a nice thing to build that thing out, right? And just add that extra bit. I mean, listen, how many people put their laptop, like in the picture, laptops off to the side, they plug into this thing, and they plug into everything, right? Like, I don't see why the Steam Deck. I mean, I think it's pretty much built to be the same thing for games, right? Because and there is a function where you plug into the TV and do that whole thing. So why not just treat it like a desktop machine? Other than power, I'm sure it's not quite as powerful, but still. So hey, I want to talk more about a couple of those gaming little things. We have a few stories in there, but in the meantime, give a shout out to our friends at Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza, New York City style. Yins are made 4 locations right up the street here at Beachview, over in Carnegie, the East End, and in North Hills. Thank you so much for those guys, and make sure if you go in, make sure you have a email address, or they have a text maybe they use too, because they have a point system. You get little rewards and stuff now, and I've already, like, right off the bat, I had like some build up and got a little bit of a discount on something a couple months ago when they were started up. So go check them out. SliceOnBroadway.com if you want to find out more, and thank you them for supporting the show. Speaking, since Matt's in the chat room, I wanted to touch on something that he shared, and I think I shared this as well. Maybe somebody else too. Logitech has a Steam Deck rival that is going to be more focused on running things like GeForce Now and Game Pass, so more on the streaming idea. And I think Matt was saying something like, this was something, if you're involved in that streaming world, of course, we're doing a lot on our phones. It's very capable right now. I find myself having better luck with Game Pass on 5G at my house than the Wi-Fi lately, by the way, which has been interesting. But this is a Logitech one. It's in development, coming later this year here, according to PCWorld.com. And again, it's mostly just going to focus on being a good. It looks like if you took a smartphone and you got one of those kind of end cappy Joy-Con looking controllers that they sell, that's very popular. It looks like that, but it's all kind of built in, and is a very looks like a very Xbox kind of setup with the buttons too. So. I did not see a price for this, but I wonder how much it is for just doing stream games like that. We know I do believe the Stream Deck starts at $400 if I'm not mistaken. So I'm hoping this thing doesn't come out at that high of a price. for something like that. But that's one option that's going out there. I'm waiting for them to just drop like GeForce Now on, the Nintendo Switch, which would probably do pretty well with them. But I'm sure they're.
I'm still really surprised that Microsoft has never gotten a deal done with Nintendo to bring
right
Game Pass to that device.
Well, there was
It would be
rumors. There were
perfect.
rumors about bringing game like Xbox Live or something over, wasn't there? Like a year or so ago. And then there's like little things like I did notice. I think I mentioned a long time ago. I've been running on my Google TV this thing called AntStream. It's another streaming service. It's free and it has a number of arcade games. And they did since the last time I looked, I checked it out. And they have an iOS web version that you can get into. And you see it's like, they got Mortal Kombat, Ninja Gaiden, and a lot of like Namco games like Pac-Man and things like that. And you can load up right into it with the controller or without. It's like it's that easy. I'm loading Mortal Kombat on my phone. And it's the original arcade game and really nice, especially if you're coming off something like that, what I was playing last week out there in Chicago and want to still play some weird arcade games. It's got Gauntlet and things like that, I think, in here, and they have like tournaments and stuff. So, but yeah, it gets right into it, and like I'm playing Mortal Kombat in cloud in like a number of clicks, but no, like I guess if there's a browser, is there a browser on the Switch? Because there's one on the Xbox. There's not at all. Really?
No, because there was that girl
so.
that girl that was able to hit Twitter from her Switch.
Because I know on my Xbox One I was able to pull up GeForce Now on there since it's basically a straight Edge browser, right? So like
looks like it's hidden.
Okay.
It is hidden.
Yeah, it's not a thing that like you're gonna find it.
They're not telling a lot of people about it, but ideally you could go in there. I would be very, very curious to load up AntStream or GeForce Now and maybe even Game Pass and see if it works on there. I feel like I would have seen an article.
Of course, it's dead.
Oh, what's that? Oh,
My Switch.
Your Switch is.
It's dead.
So, but I mean, it makes sense. Oh, I lost this fight. So that's cool. I mean, it's cool. There's options like that. I think the streaming thing is going to keep going, for sure, and become easier for people. Hey, we love 3D billboards, right? Was it a Resident Evil one that we talked about a few weeks ago? Like maybe in like Times Square or something. These like corner wraparound billboards. Well, there's one for let me get all these pop-ups out of the way. There's one for Pokemon Go that's popped up here. Sticking out. I think it's the same building that all the other ones are too, in like Japan or something too. For World Cat Day, Tokyo's Shinjuku Station. Basically, we just have stories about this one billboard in Japan. But they were running a campaign, and here's a little YouTube video of it. I'll pull out here in a second. So I'm amazed that there's still only one of these things. And well, that looks really cool. It doesn't look real, does it? Like I can't believe they captured this thing, with a camera. It feels
Wow,
like,
that actually is pretty impressive.
like, doesn't it feel like they kind of superimposed it over this thing?
Yeah.
It's too perfect. It's really just too perfect. But then there's like a tree in the foreground too. So, jeez, incredible. And there's all kind of Pokeballs and Pokemons, and they're falling out of the space, and it's flooding with a Meowth and moving up the Pikachu with the logo. So that's a really cool ad campaign. I'm waiting for those that drop in like Times Square and really start freaking people out. That feels very like Blade Runner and stuff when we have the hologram billboards and 30-foot tall dancing ladies and stuff, and when they're like flying through in their flying car. Like that's where I feel like we're getting to with these things. So Katie, why don't you pick the next story going on here? We got a few social media things. We have cats. We got NASA.
Cats.
We got
Cats and NASA.
Cats and that's not the same story, but they're in there.
I want a cat tweeting from for NASA.
Cat tweeting from
Just
space.
combine them.
Yes, let's do it.
Awesome. I want to talk about Stray. I saw that. I kind of saw this article a little bit about how virtual. I haven't gotten a chance to play Stray yet
No,
because
me
I don't have
neither.
anything I can play it on yet.
Hey.
But it's helping real cats, which is super exciting.
Yes, so they're helping real cats. They are. I think this was a marathon or something they did. I'm sorry, I read this last week and forgot about it.
You're fine.
It's an online They used online fundraising platforms, playing Stray while streaming live for audiences and for cat-related charities. So they raised money for. Oh, I just lost it here. About 80% of the game's development team are cat owners and cat lovers. Like, what's the other 20%? They're just like, I'm here. I deal with cats.
This looks like a thing.
Yes, they're the ones with
Like
the
we
allergies.
should have built a dog game.
Yeah.
Training for the dog game until we get there.
Yeah, so they're using streams to help raise money for shelters and stuff. In 1 week, they raised $7,000, with the vast majority of the 550 donors being new to them, including people donating from Germany and Malta. The company itself that did Stray also donated about $1,000 to the shelter too. So that was great. So that's a great use for it. I mean, something that's going to attract cat lovers for sure. Let's see. The company, and by the way, the company that made Stray, Annapurna, also bought Meow Parlor in the New York Cat Cafe and Adoption Agency for a weekend, and donated $1,000. They could make reservations and buy the Stray themed merchandise and play. So they kind of turned it into a pop-up store along with it, and play the game for 20 minutes while surrounded by cats.
That's like dream come true. Like,
Yeah, it is.
we play the
I think we need
like covered in cats.
I think we need a field trip. Well, that was something they did for the weekend, but we can still visit this cafe. So, in general, even they don't have the setup for the game and everything. So that's very, very cool. And that's what I keep seeing. I keep seeing TikToks and things about like cats reacting to the game, right?
They love it. It
yes.
seems like I really wish I could play it to see, what kind of reaction we get over here.
I know. I believe it's a PlayStation and PC, correct? So
Mhm.
and your Nintendo Switch and an M1 Mac, so you're kind of out of the loop.
Yep, absolutely.
So, but anyways, though that's a very, very cool thing, and that's definitely I gotta get my hands on this game and a computer that'll run it. Apparently, so that's not running video. So that's awesome. That's really awesome. Krause, you got a couple in here. Well, hit me the top of your list here.
Well, I would like to ask the question because I have been burned by these headsets myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little hesitant, but they're saying one of the the Apple leakers, Ming Chi Kuo, is saying that the Apple expects to ship 1.5 million AR VR headsets in 2023 at a price tag of $2,000 a headset. So my question to you guys is, would you buy an AR VR headset for $2,000? Now I get it, it's from Apple and it's probably going to be great, but $2,000?
Somebody needs
It has to be better than great.
Well, yeah, you
It
gotta
has to come with a drone that I can fly around with that headset.
But
So-
you know what I mean? That just seems, I don't know, that just seems steep to me.
Somebody
Too high.
needs to tell us why we're paying $2,000 for this. Somebody needs to make the case for it. And if anybody's going to make a case for it, it's Apple.
Well,
Hence-
and I get that there's the Apple tax on stuff,
well,
but
no,
come
not even the Apple tax. Because like Apple Watch, why do I need an Apple Watch? You need an Apple Watch because it's going to help you get fit. We're going to take a look at your heart rate. We're going to your mother that you're worried about has the fall thing, so she has that now. I insisted that she gets it. Now there's an ECG on it, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do body temperature, and now like we filled that out, and as we get in our midlife here and need to keep an eye on these things, that becomes very important for, I'd say, we are all the demographic here, right? So if anybody's going to convince me that I need AR VR glasses and have a great story to tell about why that is, if not the first generation, at least the second, like they did for me when I got the third Apple Watch that I'm still using, it's going to be Apple. Apple will be the one. What are you holding up over there? You got one too,
Third
right?
Apple
Right?
Watch, I get
I know.
the same one.
I know. I'm looking at your rings too over here. So, you know, it's they're the ones that are going to convince us. If anybody is going to convince us in the next 3 years, it's going to be Apple, because they would not put this out unless they had something compelling to talk us into spending the money on it. Correct?
Yeah. What's the Oculus these days run? It's
They
not anywhere near that, is it?
300 for the low end one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I saw that price tag and like I said, I'm all about, you know, I get the iPad, I got the iPhone, I got the watch, you know, I'm in it. I got the headset, you know.
It's 400.
Krause,
$399.
Krause, in the Apple one, you're going to be able to pet the cat and Stray, physically.
Yeah. $2,000 though. That just, I don't know.
Yeah,
That just seems steep
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
It's an
Again,
expensive game of Beat Saber.
Yes. Yes. I just that article just, I don't know, it just shocked me.
Now wait, so now this would be an interesting foray into Quest owners. So as a Quest owner, I will be honest with you. Like, I have like 5 or 6 games,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and I played them. All the games aren't necessarily cheap.
Mm-hmm. And what's the range?
If like anywhere from like $10 to $30.
Okay.
And then if you're playing Beat Saber and you're not modding it, notice I said that very quietly, like you have to pay for all your music sound packs, and they're not as good as like what you see on YouTube with like computer-based VR goggles. If you parlayed this with Apple Arcade,
Mm-hmm.
and you had studio quality games,
and the quality of Apple games have been pretty tremendous. And I know it's not an Apple Arcade, but like that T3 Arena that we said, that looks. Just my few minutes playing, I can't tell you how that game is any different than something on my Series S. Really, for that type of game, right? Like it's just as feature visually rich as Fall Guys, right?
Okay, so let's and I am not saying people should get this. If you looked at the Apple tax, and let's pretend your $400 Quest was like $700,
Mm-hmm.
but you had $1,300 remaining. At $1,300, we'll apply the Apple tax to a $40 game, or a $30 game is now $40.
Mm-hmm.
If they gave you 32 games,
With Apple One.
you'd break even.
Sure. Okay. If you're doing that kind of math, but also like Potter's in the chat room over on Facebook saying, he says he thinks it's bullshit on the headset numbers. That would be the price only if they have business customers lined up, and I think that might be the other thing. Maybe it's more like the Microsoft. What was the Microsoft headset that they were doing? That was AR.
The Halo.
The Halo. Really, it was Halo.
Was it
No,
HoloLens?
HoloLens.
Holo,
Yes,
HoloLens.
thank you. Like that was a very, for business application, right? Maybe there is something with Apple say this is for creators, this is for producers, this is for this, kind of thing. This is for me to work on my game and put a headset on in 3D space, which is something you can do actually. The Apple does have hooks into VR. You can get an Oculus headset, connect it to your Mac, and edit and preview 360 video in Final Cut Pro X. Right? And you've been able to do that for years. So The other thing I noticed, I'm looking at the website over here. One is there's a few fascinating things that are going on here. One, I do not see a VR headset aside from the. By the way, they are now the MetaQuest and MetaQuest 2 are the headsets. Oculus has now been worked out of the deal. But also, like, this is basically their hardware page, and the other things on their hardware page are the Meta Portal, the like Google Home display thing, and Ray-Ban glasses, which I think, do they take pictures? Was that what they did? What were I can't remember what the Facebook glasses did. And then I'm trying to load it right now. Wait for Meteor.
Oh yeah, they took pictures. Yeah.
The Ray-Ban stories. Okay, so they're the really fancy Snapchat spectacles or something. Smart glasses designed to keep you in the moment. Jeez, maybe this is what I need to go hiking with. So, the one thing I do, my experience with Google Glass as an offshoot, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I do kind of want the Google Glass with all trails on it that shows me if I'm on the path.
Oh, that would be nice.
That's-
I could tell you that. Yeah, that would be cool.
Like,
That'd be cool.
like because I've gotten lost so many times. But yeah, just like that, because the navigation was one of the coolest things, and it didn't make any sense unless you're walking around New York City with the glass when it was around, right?
Mhm.
And I'm just like, this would make so much sense on the trail to be like, okay, because you know how many times you're like, this looks like a trail, and you go like 10 steps and realize, oh, I've made a mistake, and you go back to where you came and realize, oh no, I was supposed to go this way, right? Like if I just had that little marker, because I'm literally just holding my phone open the entire time, looking down on it to see if I've veered off and got myself in trouble because I don't trust myself and my nature skills. Kind of thing. So, but so I want the display back at least. So, or I get that little display I've been looking at for a video, and that can just take your cell phone and throw it up in front of you. But then I got like a cord and everything that I can catch on branches, and that's not gonna work either. So, anyways, I don't believe the $2,000 headset's going to be a consumer product. A general consumer product at all.
It
No
just was
way.
hard. And I
No
know
way.
it was a rumor thing, but I was just like, no, I just don't understand.
I think we're grasping at stuff. So, so Apple Studio Lens. Yeah, there we go. That's what it'll be called. All right. What else we got here? Oh, it's almost pumpkin time, Chill. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Let's see. What is there? Anything else that is my iPad is frozen. So if anybody's got any stories,
Krause, I am so one thing I saw Krause put in here that I am super excited about, and I actually need to go download the newest beta. We're getting our battery percentage back.
what?
Yes, battery percentage. iOS 16.
Oh, this is the thing on your beta deal. They took away battery percentage.
It's been gone.
What? Where? Wait, like
Where you used to write on top of the battery while you were looking at your phone, be able to have a percentage next to it.
Like it'll tell you right on the battery how much.
Like
is
now you have to be like
You have to
old school, and
swipe down.
to swipe down to get to your battery percentage.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, and
They're
that's on
bringing it back right in the battery.
in the battery itself. Yeah.
the things we get excited about.
Like that's super exciting to me. I know I'm a geek.
So not
That's
like
okay.
not like this where it's like up in it's actually hidden on here, but it's like up in the corner on the iPad, for instance. But yeah, but oh boy, exciting. See if there's anything else we want to touch on real quick. I know there's so much in here.
Because you're a Rocket League fan, you should look at that Golf Meets Rocket League.
Is it in Rocket League or is it a separate game?
It's a different game. It's called Turbo Golf Racing.
All right, I got loading up here.
And it's
So is it like Rocket League, but instead of the goal, it's like a
There we go.
hole in the middle of
it's 8
somewhere?
players, and you're racing to get your ball in the hole first. I thought it looked interesting, and I know you guys like Rocket League, and it was like, well, this could be interesting.
You have to
Okay.
pay for it?
It's still kind of a soccer ball situation. Okay. But and
Yeah.
the hole's in the sky?
That's probably on a certain level.
Yeah,
okay.
but it looked like I said, it just looked interesting. So I was like, okay, this could be
Okay,
cool.
that could be fun. It's Turbo Golf
Yeah.
Racing, and it's out today on Game Pass. So
Yes.
if you have Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Game Preview, it is on there. Well, I'm going to pull that out of my app and download it, so I was waiting for when I get home. So we'll do that situation. So okay, all right. We'll check that out then. Thank you for that recommendation. So awesome. So I know we didn't get to talk about Xbox too much, but Krause, thank you for coming on. I've joined. We talked about. I've joined your Xbox League. I have a series. I don't have the fancy series like you guys because I just couldn't justify it in my own head. But definitely enjoying the lower load times for sure. So, Crazy Krause on the Twitters.
Hey, Sorg, it's okay. My Xbox One X has never seen a 4K television, so
Right?
I probably should have bought the other one myself. So, but I did. So.
Right, exactly. The only thing is, like, I can't play my Transformers game anymore because it's a disc. It's like the only disc that I play on Xbox One. So, but it's all right because now I have an Xbox One here in the studio, so we
There
can,
you go.
there's that whole situation. So now I have just like a collection of Xboxes. It's pretty sad actually. So I would try to figure out because I have three. Yeah, I have 3 Xbox 360s, and I'm trying to figure out like what games like are good for like we could have 3 people on 3 different TVs. Maybe when we do Extra Life with my brother here in October, and have just like a big like old school LAN party situation. We could just play. Well, I guess Rocket League's not on that game on that system, is it? But we have at least 2 Xbox Ones, so we could do something with that. Shadowrun?
Oh,
Really?
that was such a good game.
Oh,
That was
Such
one of
a
my
good
favorite
Guys, we got to
games.
do a LAN party. Come on, we'll get everybody over and do a LAN party sometime.
Crimson Skies.
Crimson
Oh,
Skies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Wow, this is so nice. I can just install it on stuff. The Xbox is so good. Like I'm literally downloading to my console from the phone. So, Katie K Dutters on the Twitter, Kate Brady PGH on the Instagrams. Let's see what's going on with you, and if you get caught in the rain again.
Yeah, that's what I do. Just get caught in the rain and go outside and get a shower. Shower.
Cat leggings and getting caught in the rain. It should be, that could be your blog. So,
Yeah, seriously.
and John Chichilla at Chilla on the tweets.
John Chill on the Facebooks.
And I am at Sorgatron to follow whatever the heck I get into, whether it's behind the scenes at MMA shows or whatever trails I've been finding lately. This weekend proves it might be kind of an interesting mix of something new. So look out for that. I don't like to talk about projects a lot until they happen, especially things that are as loose as this weekend's. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody new and old on the AwesomeCast. And we'll see you guys next time. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.